Yes. Good evening to you all. Yes, I am
Good
Pamudu Fall
evening.
from the Gambia, and I'm delighted to
Oh,
be here.
welcome.
So my question is it possible to independently conduct and publish academic research before pursuing a master's degree? And if it is possible, what practical steps will you recommend for someone starting that journey?
Okay, thank you. Actually, to do any academic writing and publishing your work doesn't require any certificate. So it doesn't matter if you have a master degree or a bachelor degree. The most important thing is you should have the knowledge to do the work, to do the research, and then you have the tools and capability to write your work and submit it to the journal. So the journals, they don't care about your um, master or PhD degree in accepting your publication. So you can do it at any stage once you decided to become a researcher. I hope I answer your question, Mr. Bamadou.
Yes, sir, that is well answered. Yeah, and it is noted. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You are welcome. Thank you. Dr. Ali, you were talking about something, but you were disconnected.
Yes, Dr. Alkhair. Yeah, I'm disconnected. But I'm talking about as Sanama asked the question about the head of lab authorship. As you said, or as I said, uh, we can include the lab head if he provide to us critical feedback about the work or about the experimental design, or if he help us in interpret results, or as you said, Dr. Khair, actively revise the manuscript, or if he provide funding or infrastructure, even if we work in his lab, we can include him in the authorship, but we cannot include him if the contribution of him was acting only as head of the department or head of lab without having directly engaged in the study, or if he not reviewed or approved the final manuscript, we couldn't include the head of lab in the manuscript as an author. Uh, this is about the head of lab, Mr. Sanaba.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. If there is no question, we can proceed to next session. The floor is yours, Dr. Alkhair.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ali Abdullah. It was a very interesting and very nice presentation.
Thank you very much.
And the art of academic writing, because academic writing is one of the arts. So it is an art you have to master, you have to practice, you have to learn in order to become an expert in your field. So this is how you communicate your finding, you communicate your research, your studies. I'm going to present a presentation on the publishing or the publishers. What are the publishers now that in control of the publication process in academic settings, and the databases that includes most of the human knowledge right now, and the metrics used for categorizing and classifying the journals and the publishers. So let me share my screen. So can you see my screen?
Yes, clear.
Okay. So this is session 3. And today or tonight, we should have another session, but I think I will postpone it to other day. I was supposed to discuss the reference managers, the reference managers apps like Zotero and Mendeley and EndNote. We will talk about it or about them either on next Wednesday or on Friday. It will be a demonstration, a live demonstration sessions. But now I'm going to present the publishing giants, journal selection, and database navigation. As I said, my name is Alkhair Khalil, and I am one of the facilitators in this workshop. My presentation involves these 6 points. We're going to discuss the publication cycle and the type of access. I already mentioned that because one of the participants asked about sometimes you may find a closed access article or an article that you need to pay money in order to get. And then I will discuss the global landscape of these publishers, which of them are highly prestigious, and which of them work in the open access model. Then I will show some recent statistics about the market dynamics. And then I will move to the indexing databases. We know some of them like like PubMed or Scubas or Web of Science. And then I'm going to explain some of the metrics and rankings. And finally, I will guide you through how to select a suitable journal for your research paper. So let's start by the publication cycle. As a researcher or academician, you create a knowledge in the form of a research. This research is first proposed and then funded in order to be done, and then it is reported in the form of an article, a research article. This research article will be submitted to to a journal for evaluation, first by the editors and then by the reviewers. And once they accepted the manuscript, they publish it. So this here came the role of the publisher, who do the publication process by performing editing, designing layout, and provide all the publication services for your study to be accessible online or through print. And then your research or your paper get disseminated to be accessed by a wider by anybody actually who can access your article. And the publisher also keep copies and versions of your work and index them in what is known as databases. So anytime you log in onto these databases, you can find your work, and then this work can be reused by others in order to make other studies depending on your work. So this is how the publication cycle work. The cornerstone for this process is the publisher, who receive your manuscript, review it, and then publish it. So we want to know about these publishers and who are they. So before we discuss the publishers, we need to know the business model of these publishers. As I said, we have different models or different business model. The classical model, which is a closed access model, here the author submits his work and it is published without the author being charged any money. But the money comes from the subscribers. So this is a subscription-based model. Many universities or many education institutions, they subscribe to certain types of journals and they pay annually some fees to those journals or to those publishers in order to get their issues of journals. So this is the closed access business model. So as a regular reader, to get the article or to get the whole version or the whole issue of the journal, you have to pay. And then we have the hybrid access. Some journals or some publishers provide two types of access, either the closed access, so you don't need to pay as an author, or you can choose to publish your work open access. Open access means you have to pay the money yourself as the author to the journal for them to publish your work, to be accessible for any other or for anybody to read. So this is a hybrid access model. We have the full open access model, and we have two types of it. It is either gold open access or diamond open access. In the gold open access, and it is very common nowadays, you pay, as I said, you pay the APC, which is known as the article processing charge, for the others to read your work. And by doing so, you get more attention, okay, because your work is freely accessible, and you get more citations, you get more visibility. So this is a very good model for you as an early career researcher, because you get attention much faster. We have the diamond open access model. Here, certain institutions or certain agencies or societies, like for example, the American Society or the American Chemical Society, for example, the Royal Society of Chemistry. These societies can pay certain journals funds in order for other researchers and students to publish their work. So the author don't pay anything, and the journals get their money from these grants or from this funding. So we have three types of access, either closed access, open access, or the hybrid. So when you submit your article to a journal, try to first know what type of access they run, either open access or closed access. And this is very easy to get when you log in to the journal website. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of both models, the traditional, which is the closed access, and the open access? For the traditional publishing model, which is the closed access, the researcher conducts research and write article. Article is submitted and accepted by journal, be reviewed, and then the authors receive some suggestions, some revisions. They do the revisions and then resubmit their paper. If it is satisfied by the journal and the reviewers, the article being published in the journal, then the subscribers to the journal, as I said, pay the fee. But in the open access model, the researcher conduct research and write articles. The same sequence of events take place, no difference. But here, before the paper being accepted, you can publish your work as a preprint. Many publishers actually nowadays provide this service. You can publish the paper before being peer reviewed, and it is known as preprint. It is not a final publication because the article has not been reviewed yet, and um, it is not a formal type of publication that you can rely on. Sometimes after the paper being peer reviewed and before being produced by the publisher, some publishers like Elsevier can provide a post-print or what is known as impress. You will find a title in your article that your article now is impress. That means it's being printed. So before being published officially, your article receive a DOI, and then it will be available online before even the specific issue of the journal being published officially. So we have preprint and post-print. And finally, the article is published by the journal in some specific day. The article become accessible online for everyone to use for free. So what are the pros and cons of the open access? The advantage of open access, as I said, wider dissemination because the audience are wider than the closed access. And then there is increased accessibility with free online access and higher citation. But the disadvantage of drawbacks of open access, the biggest challenge is the APC, the article processing charge, because it is normally anywhere between 2,000 to 5,000 US dollars, normally the average range, 2,000 to 5,000, and sometimes even higher, may reach up to 10,000 or more. So this is the headache. But for us in developing countries, as I said last time, many publishers provide service for us that we can publish free without paying APC. One of the cons of the open access also is the predatory publishers, as my colleague Dr. Ali said. There is some paper mills, and also we have what is known as the predatory journals. These journals are actually just for commercial business. They don't care about science. They don't care about peer review. You can just pay them money in order to publish your work, even within one day. Some journals provide this service. Because of that, you lose your money, and you can no longer publish your research, your published research again in any other journal because it has already been published. The third con is long-term sustainability concern, because if you manage to pay APC one time, because if you have fund, or for example, if you are exempted from funding, from paying, or any type of solution for that problem, you cannot guarantee that the next article you will be able to pay for the APC. So these advantages and disadvantages of the open access model. What about the publishers themselves? There are a lot of publishers worldwide. What we have what is known as the Big Five, the largest 5 publishers worldwide, which are Elsevier, Springer Nature, Wiley, Tyler and Francis, and SEG. These are the top 5, and they control more than 40% of the publication circulating worldwide. So academic literature is dominated by a small group of highly influential commercial publishers. All these publishers are commercial. They are not part of any university or academic institution. They are just companies. These houses manage thousands of journals across all disciplines, from medicine to engineering to physics to every and to every type, to any type of or any discipline of science. So we have Elsevier, which by far is the largest publisher. Elsevier hosts the Scopus database, one of the largest database for science. We have Springer Nature. Springer Nature originated from a merger between two companies, Springer and Nature, back in 2015. And we have Wiley, one of the oldest publishers. Is focused mainly on life science and engineering. And we have Tyler and Francis and SEG. They are mainly in humanitarian and social science and education, especially SEG. So this is a little bit of history about these publishers. For example, Elsevier, founded in 1880, and Springer Nature, by the title Springer Nature from 2015, but Springer is founded in 1842 and Nature in 1869, and Wiley in 1807. For Tyler and Francis and SEG, SEG actually is quite new in 1965, but Tyler and Francis started back in 1852. Apart from the top five or the five giants, we have other type of institutions that publish in the academia. Some of them are affiliated with universities. For example, we have the Oxford Press and the Cambridge Press. Oxford University Press and Cambridge University Press are two examples of this non-commercial type of academic business. They prioritize academic mission over purely commercial returns. Also, we have some societies, academic and scientific societies, that they also found some journals in order to publish the research of their members. For example, the American Chemical Society and the IEEE for our colleagues from the engineering science. All these societies and bodies actually they publish in highly reputable journals, and many of them are indexed in the Scopus or in the Web of Science databases. And because academic writing and publishing is highly profitable, other companies start to emerge, and these companies actually run a full open access model. So they don't have the hybrid or the closed access model. They work by the full open access model. So as a researcher or as an author, you have to pay them in order to publish your work. And these companies like MDPI or Frontiers or PLOS, they are characterized by publishing extremely fast compared to the traditional publishers. So your article may be published within 3 months, at least, for example, from receiving of your manuscript until publication. So MDPI and Frontiers, they are large-scale operation with high volumes and rapid turnaround times. PLOS, which is Public Library of Science, and I think Dr. Ali is an editor of one of their journal. They are pioneers of non-profit open access model with highly influential journals like PLOS One. So they are not seeking profit, they are seeking the open access of science. So these are examples of the famous companies that run the open access model. Okay, so MDPI founded in 1996. It is a pure gold open access model, so you have to pay. known for rapid turnaround, average 40 days. Business revolves around the special issue model led by guest editor. So they announce, for example, just an example, next June, they can announce an issue, for example, in breast cancer. So they invite a guest editor to supervise this issue, and then he will receive different articles from different authors, either by invitation or by just direct submission, in order to publish their work. Frontiers and Plus One, also quite recent in the early 2000s. For Frontiers is a collaborative peer review platform focused on researchers-led communities, whereas PLOS, as I said, is a non-profit pioneer. One of their journal, very famous, is PLOS One, revolutionize science by focusing on technical rigor rather than perceived impact. And here we can compare the market share between the different publishers worldwide. The top one is Elsevier, which control about 25% of the total publication. Actually, these statistics just from this May or from the last 5 months, from January to May. So Elsevier published more than 384,000 articles from January to May, which account for 25% of the total publication. Then we have Springer Nature, around 16%, and then followed by Wiley, around 7%, and MDPI, which is surprising for me. MDPI is growing fast. Now it is among the top 5, actually. It published around 6% of the total articles published in 2026, and then followed by Tyler and Francis and SEG. So by far, Springer, Nature, and Elsevier are the dominant players in the world of publication. They account for more than 40% of the articles published worldwide. So when these publishers publish the articles in literature, there comes, what can I say? It comes the importance of the databases, the indexing databases, because we have thousands of articles, thousands of journals. We need to keep track of all of this. So they found it, what is known as indexing databases. And these indexing databases either owned by publishers, or sometimes they are owned by governments, or sometimes they are owned by private sectors. Here we have the most famous databases, the top 4. We have the Clarivet. The Clarivet is a company. They host what is known as the Web of Science database. And then we have the Scopus, which is owned by Elsevier. Elsevier is a publisher, but they have their own database, which is Scopus. And then we have the Google Scholar. Google Scholar is a database owned by Google. And we have the PubMed, which is an American database owned by the American or the US government, part of the NCPI, the National Center of, I forgot about the abbreviation, but NCPI and the National Institution of Health. So the PubMed is mainly focused on biomedical studies. For Google Scholar, it is much wider. You can find anything in Google Scholar. Scopus and Web of Science, they only index highly reputable journals, and their list of indexed journals is actually updated frequently. Every month, some journals enter the database, and some journals may go out of the database. Because of that, I think any one of us who is with us today or tonight should have an account in all of these databases, in Web of Science, in Google Scholar and PubMed. I don't think Scopus can be, you can access it with regular email. Correct me, Dr. Ali, if I'm not right. To have an account in Scopus, you have to have an institution email. Is that right, Dr. Ali? I think Dr. Ali is not with us. But anyhow, try to have an account on all these databases. Okay. I think in the last day of our workshop, I will guide you through how to make your digital presence as a researcher online, to have a researcher profile. So your work will be connected to your name. Okay, so the Scopus is managed by Elsevier. It's the largest curated database, focuses on peer review, metadata, and site score metrics. While Web of Science is managed by Clarivate. And Clarivate, by the way, also they have the famous reference manager with the name EndNote. EndNote is owned by Clarivate, whereas Elsevier, they have Mendeley. Mendeley is owned by Elsevier. The difference between EndNote and Mendeley is open source or free of charge, whereas EndNote is not. You have to pay a license fee to get the software. For the PubMed and Google Scholar, PubMed is niche for life science only, whereas Google Scholar is broad and curated but captures massive volume. But the most important databases are Clarivate or Web of Science and Scopus. For Web of Science is not a publisher, and even Clarivate is not a publisher. Clarivate is a global analytics company. It does not publish journals, but it indexes them. Its primary power lies in the Web of Science core collection. Do you have a question? Please mute your mic. Okay, so Web of Science is the gold standard for high impact research. So if you cite any article from a journal index in Web of Science, you know that it's a good research. Okay, Clarivate also owns the Journal Citation Report, the GCR, which calculates the official impact factor. And we will discuss the impact factor in a moment. For the Scopus, as I said, it's owned by Elsevier, is the world's largest abstract and citation database of peer-reviewed literature. While owned by the publisher Elsevier, it's governed by the Independent Content Selection and Advisory Board, the CSAP. So the database doesn't contain only what is published by Elsevier. It contains many publications from other publishers, like from Wiley, from Tyler Francis, from SEG, from whatever, any type of peer-reviewed literature can be found in Scopus. It offers broader coverage than Web of Science. Without, in addition to the research article, they also publish conference proceedings, and also they publish books from Science Direct. So it is much wider than the Web of Science database. So by accessing Scopus, if you have access to Scopus, you will have access to a large number of publications and books. And normally this is given by institutions like universities. If your university have access to Scopus database, you as a student or MSc student, you can have access to the database as well. So is a comparison between the four famous databases. The Web of Science, the coverage is selective. They have selected areas they publish on it. And the key feature of their system is the impact factor. So they give any journal an impact factor, and I will show you how it will be calculated. The Scopus is, as I said, is broad and curated, and it is interdisciplinary. Many disciplines actually found in Scopus. And the PubMed is exclusively for life sciences, and it is NIH backed, and it is free. This is the advantage of PubMed. You can sign up with your personal email, and you will have an account, so you can search or do literature review within PubMed, and then save your search results, and you can export them to your file, so you can have a look at them offline. And then we have the Google Scholar, but it is uncurated. You can find basically everything, even the preprints can be found in Google Scholar. Again, try to have a Google Scholar account. It will track your record of publication. So let's talk about the impact factor, which is devised by Clarivate, or the Web of Science. Simply, the impact factor is calculated within 2 years, 2 previous years. So now if we are now in 2026, the impact factor is calculated for 2026 and 2025. Simply, the database calculates the total amount, the total number of citations within those 2 years given to the journal, and divide them by the total number of articles published by the same journal within the same period of time. For example, if we are going to calculate the impact factor between 2022 and 2023, here in 2022, the total citation were 758. And within 2023, they were 740. So the total is 1,498 citations. These are citations received by the X journal, this journal. Within the same period, this journal published only about 51 articles within 2 years. Okay, so when we divide the total number of citations by the total number of published articles, we get the impact factor. And here, in this case, it is 29.4, which is extremely high. It's a very good journal to have an impact factor of 29.4. And why it is calculated within 2 years? Because the citation process, or even before the citation, the publication process takes time, okay? And for others to read your work and to cite it and then publish their work in order to appear in the citation database, this also takes time. You only receive the citation when others publish a work contains your study in their citations. So the databases should have wait for at least 2 years to collect those numbers in order to calculate the impact factor. So this is known as 2 years impact factor. The impact factor, as I said, it is calculated by Clarivate or the Web of Science. But for Elsevier, they have different metric. They call it site score. So we have impact factor and site score. Impact factor is for the Web of Science database, but the site score is for the Scopus database. And normally it is calculated within 4 years instead of 2. So for example, here, if you want to calculate the site score for a certain journal between 2018 and 2021, these 4 years, 18, 19, 20, and 21. So these are 4 years. So this is the total number of citations received within this period, and this is the total number of research published within the same period. So by dividing these two numbers, you get your site score. Okay. So this divides by Elsevier. So when you look at a journal and try to know how much it is being cited in literature, and that indicate the quality of work they publish. So the higher the number, the more prestigious the journal. But it's not important to publish in extremely high impact journals. You can, for example, as a beginner, you can publish in a journal with an impact factor of 2 or 3 or even less than 2, 1 point something. So as far as the journal is indexed in Scopus or Web of Science, go for it. Don't worry about the impact factor. We have other types of metrics used to classify the journals, like the SGR, one of them was the famous metrics from the SCImago journal rank. This number actually measures the prestige, not not all the citation are equal. So they give credit to some of the highly reputable journals like Nature. So if you publish in Nature, the credit is not equal to another journal from, for example, a Q4 journal. They are not the same. So they credit the quality of the journal. So it's calculated using a 3-year window based on Scopus data. So this comes from Elsevier. We have also the SNIP, the source normalized impact. This device to compare different journals from different disciplines because they are not equal. For example, a journal publishing research in mathematics and another journal publishing research in history. These are not the same type of science. So in order to compare those two journals, we need a baseline or something that we can calculate to compare those two journals. So the source normalized impact measures contextual impact. It accounts for differences in citation potential between fields. For example, 3 citations in math might be more impressive than 30 citations in biomedicine. So SNIP normalizes this comparison. So in conclusion, for the metrics, we have the impact factor, the general impact factor for 2 years, or the site score for 4 years, and we have the SGR for certain journals, and I can show you the website at the end of the presentation, and you can know the quality of research published in a given journal just by seeing its SGR index. So one important thing also you have to know that in addition to the SGR and SNIP, we have what is known as the quartile classes or the quartile distribution of journals. Normally, journals are classified into 4 categories or 4 quartiles: Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. The best journals are Q1 and the least one are Q4. What do we mean by Q1 and Q2 and Q3 and so on? Q1, when a journal is classified as Q1, that means it is among the top 25% journals in that field. For example, if the journal published in biomedicine, when it is classified as Q1, that means this journal is among the top 25% journals in biomedicine. So by looking at the Q number of any journal, you can know at what position this journal is classified. Q2, that means it is among the 25 to 50% top journals. Q3, 50 to 75%. And Q4, that means this journal is at the bottom 25% in that field. But the catch, as the Q get higher, the acceptance rate get lower. That means if you want to submit to a Q1, mostly you will get rejected several times before you get acceptance. So the acceptance rate is very low, between 5 to 15%. So between any 100 articles submitted to Q1 journal, only 5 to 15 articles get accepted. And the number get higher as you go down to Q4. In Q4, there is more than 40% chance you get accepted. But I don't recommend you to publish in Q4 as an early career. In the beginning, try to target Q2, Q3 journals. They are good. They are not bad, but the acceptance rate is higher compared to the Q1. So this information you have to put in your mind. What is the quartile of the journal? So for you to select a journal, for your first paper or for your first article, as I said, try to target or try to aim for Q2 or Q3 journals. They provide a balance of academic credibility without crushing rejection rate of Q1, because the rejection rate in Q1 may reach up to 80%. So before you submit your article, you need to check for the aim and scope of the journal first. So you have to log into the website of the journal and look at the aims and scope of that journal and whether it aligns with your article or not. Try as much as you can to avoid Q4 unless it is a specific society journal. For example, if you are a member of the, for example, Sudan Chemical Society, if it is present and they have a journal and it is peer reviewed, you can normally publish on it. Or if you work for a specific university and they have a peer reviewed journal, you can also publish on it. There's no problem with that. So use Q1 only for breakthrough novel results. If you did a really good research and the result is outstanding and highly significant, at that case, you can aim for Q1 journals. What I'm saying is not a 100% rule. If you can aim for Q1 from the start if your work is very good, but to avoid the hurdle of being rejected and affected by the rejection, try to go gradually until you build your skills and confidence in writing academic articles. Lastly, I will show you how to find the right journal that fit your work. Nowadays, many publishers like Elsevier or Springer, they provide a service, an online service. You just need to copy and paste your abstract or your keywords or your title into their website in order to determine which journal is suitable for your work, because there is actually tens of thousands of journals available on the internet, making selection highly confusing. So let me show you how to do it. Before we go to the selection of journal, I just want to show you this Clarivate website. This is a journal citation report for 2025. Okay, and it shows you how many articles they publish. 14,000 science articles. About 6,000 of them are open access. Okay, this is the criteria of journal quality and so on. So you can check this website. and they can show you how to calculate the impact factor. Okay, this is a document showing you the same slide I showed you. I just copied it from this document. Okay, so for Scopus, also they have their own website, and this is a page for the Scopus metrics. So they will show you how the site score is being calculated, and you can go to the resources to search for different publication. And as I said, you need an account to access the Scopus database. This the SIMAGO or the SGRS. This the database. You can know the quartile or the SGR score of any journal. For example, this is #1 journal in the world. It's no, it's not #1 actually. Some journals are, I think some journals may be higher than that. Okay, this is #1. So this Q1, all these journals are Q1 journals. And when you go down the lines, you will find less and less quartiles. Okay, so you can filter the result depending on the region, the type of article, the year. So you can, or you can just search for the journal name here. You can just put the name here and it will, for example, if I put frontiers, chemistry. This is a journal, Frontiers in Chemistry. Okay, it is Q2. This is the SGR score of this journal. This is the H index. This is a country where this journal is published, and all the information about the journal you can find it here. So you can look at the progress and the success of the journal, either it is succeeding or it is declining. All these metrics you can have a look at them. So just by searching the name of the journal, you can have a lot of information about it. This is from the SIMAGO website. We have another website also for ranking journals. You can also just write the journal name here and you will get the result here. And okay, this is what I want to show you. This is a journal finder. This is the journal finder from Elsevier or from Scopus, and this is from Springer Nature, and this is from Wiley. If you have a study, for example, let's look for a study, if you have okay, I have some recent study here. So suppose you have completed your research and you write the manuscript, and you don't know which journal you can submit your work. So simply you just copy your abstract, okay, after you finish it, and then go to the site. For example, this is a Elsevier journal finder. Paste your abstract and click on Find Journal. After a few seconds, it will give you results of suitable journals for your specific manuscript. Okay, so for example, this is intelligence-based medicine. This is a site score of the journal 2.9, and very importantly, it will give you a hint how long it will take for your manuscript to go through the system of the journal. Here, on average, from submission to first decision, it will take 5 days, which is extremely good. Yeah. For other journal, for example, this journal, it will take 9 days. But here the impact factor and the site score is higher. And also it will give you the APC, the amount for the open access fees, $2,690. Sometimes it may be less than 2,000 like this journal. So you can filter the result depending on the impact factor you are targeting. For example, if I'm targeting just between 0 and 2 impact factor, or the side score between 0 and 3, you can filter it. And the time of acceptance, also you can customize this result. So after customization, you will get a suitable selection for your article. For example, this Kuwait Journal of Science, it is indexed in Scopus. Its impact factor is 1.1, site score is 2.5. The submission to first decision is 7 days. The acceptance to publication is 2 days. So they are quite fast in their work. This is the amount you have to pay in order to publish there. Okay. The same thing applies to Springer Nature. You can also just paste your abstract or keywords or whatever, and then just click on Find Journals. And also it will give you some suggestions. And it will give you, for example, this is an open access journal. The site, the impact factor is 2.6. And from submission to first decision, it will take 12 days, and so on. The same thing apply for Wiley. Also here, either to search by keywords. The keywords are part of the manuscript or the paper. For example, here I have 7 or 6 keywords. I can just copy the keywords, okay? Or I can just copy the match by abstract. If I select match by abstract, they ask me for the title of my manuscript, and then they ask for the abstract. And in case of the keywords, I just need to put them there and then click on. But depending on these specific keywords, there is no result. But if I put the title followed by the abstract, okay, and then copy the abstract, and hit enter, find journals. So these are the suggestions. Also give you the time, 41 days, 30 days, 3 days. They are quite different from each other because each journal has its own business model, and the amount paid also varies. This is $5,000 and this is $1,790. So after you select a journal that is suitable for your work, for example, if this journal, you can just click on it, and then you can open this website to read, for example, the author guidelines. This is what I said earlier. You have to know the scope and the objective of that journal. So one important thing to read in any website of a journal is a guide to author. It will give you everything you need to know: the submission process, the language editing type, the terms of submission, the peer review process, how it be handled, the article processing charges, and if you are eligible for waiver. For example, if you are from Sudan, they can show you that you are eligible for 100% waiver. The preprint service, they can provide also a preprint service, guidance for clinical trials, and so on. All these, you have to go through them in order to decide this journal is good for me or not. It's an ethical consideration. And finally, the appeals in case of any conflict that may arise. So this is how you navigate the journal finders in different publishers, and then you can decide which journal. But as a rule of thumb, this is an advice from me. If you are starting your career as a researcher or trying to publish your work, try to work closely with your supervisor, okay? Because your supervisor is an expert. Normally, will be an expert in his field, and he has numerous previous publications, so he knows what type of journals he can or she can submit your article in order to get processed and accepted. So try to learn from them, and then you can work independently day by day to advance in your career. So this is the last slide for me, I think. So to select a journal, you have to input your manuscript title or full abstract, and then look at the result and try to filter it based on the APC budget or the open access status or the impact factor rank you want. Then analyze, review the matching score and acceptance rate, and then check the aim and scope on the journal homepage and also the author guidance or the guidelines for the authors. Thank you for your time and for your patience with me, and I'm happy to receive any question or any comment or any discussion. Thank you very much. Any question? محمد عثمان إبراهيم تفضل.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Dr. Alkhair, for your presentation. I just have a question as a beginner researcher. Should I focus on you have I have I have registering for this platform you mentioned, but I lose the time. I should focus on one platform that at the beginner research will help me full, as I lose time in for platform.
Do you mean the databases? The databases like Scopus and Web of Science? Do you mean that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. As a beginner, you can have an account on first in Google Scholar, number one, because it is very easy. Because already you have a Google account, right? So you by default you will get a Google Scholar account. You have just to fill your information, your email and your affiliation. So this is the easiest part. And then go to what is known as ORCID. Do you know the ORCID or the ORCID?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, the ORCID is your just like your phone number. It's unique for any researcher. Every researcher has his own ORCID number. So try to get one as soon as possible. Okay, and then have an account on Elsevier, and then on Web of Science, and most importantly on ResearchGate. These are 5 platforms I recommend: ResearchGate, Scopus, or Elsevier generally, Web of Science, Google Scholar, and ORCID. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. Let me show you the ORCID because it's very important. Just I will show my screen again. Just a minute. Do you see my screen?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So this is the ORCID website, orcid.org. Okay, this is an official web page. And then if you don't have an account, you can just sign up using your email. Register now here. And because I already have an account, so I can just sign in to the ORCID. Okay. So this is the ORCID page of mine. It contains my bibliography, my publications. Every article you publish online, if it is connected to your ORCID account, will be connected to your name. Are you getting me?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you don't need to look for your articles published. Any article you publish, it will automatically be included in your account. Okay. So this your ID as a researcher. This number is my number. Okay. So anybody has his own ID. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Dr. Rashad.
You're welcome.
Let me add something.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
ORCID it stand for open, R for researcher, and C for contributor. ID means ID card, ID. It is open researcher and contributor ID. It's like your ID in a country, license ID or something like that. It is a researcher ID. If you didn't have ORCID, you didn't have you didn't have an ID in the research. Same as all of us.
That means you are invisible.
Yeah, invisible. Exactly.
I'm trying to look if there's a question here in the chat, but yeah, from Hiba Abdullah, she said, "What is suitable, acceptable impact factor? Anything more than 0 is acceptable. That means the paper or the journal is working. So don't worry about the impact factor at this stage. But as the impact factor getting higher and higher, that means journal is getting good. But when the journal is starting, its impact factor is 0 because it hasn't published anything yet. So with time, it will get more citations and it will get more publications. So its impact factor normally will increase. Do you agree with me, Dr. Ali, on this point of view? I don't care about impact factor, actually. Is there a specific number of rejections of a research, or can I be rejected until to be accepted? There is no limit, actually.
Yes.
If you're, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dr. Ali.
No limit for rejection. Yeah. Maybe 10 times, 2 times, 1 time. No limit for rejection. But you have to find the suitable journal for your manuscript. This is the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely. And when you get rejected from one journal, actually, if the journal did a review on your article will be much stronger when you resubmit it, because you will know which point are the weak point, which point are the strong point. So each time your manuscript will get better and better. So at the end of the day, you will get an acceptance from even a journal with higher impact factor than the one you started with. This is from Samira. Sometimes you reject it from a journal with impact factor of 2, yeah, and the second time you submit it to another journal with impact factor of 6, you will get accepted. So it's not a bad thing to be rejected. Don't refrain from rejection. It's not a bad thing.
Let me tell something. Once upon a time, we have a paper and we submitted to PLOS neglected tropical disease. And after review, they reject the paper. Then we went and submitted to Nature Communication, which is most prestigious journals, and accepted in that journal, which is most prestigious journal. So the rejection from PLOS deliver us or
it was a good thinking
Yeah,
for you.
it was the best way for us in that
Yeah.
manuscript.
Samir also said some sites like SciHub can give you access to paid articles. Can I get my data from MIT and cite it on my research? Okay, here it's an ethical problem actually. When the article is closed access, does that mean you have to pay? But SciHub actually pirates these sites and get the articles to be open access. Personally, I don't like it, but what do you think, Dr. Ali, about SciHub?
Sorry, Dr. Khaled, come again?
She is talking about SciHub and can she use a paper that she gets from SciHub because it is closed access?
It breaks the paper, I think I have.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, they pirate the closed access websites.
Mhm. Sahab it bypass and publisher paywalls and access
Yes.
to millions of scientific research, but I didn't know what the ethical in this way, or can we use it in? Is it legal or illegal to use it in our research?
Personally, I think it's not legal because there is a copyright. It is a copyrighted
Yes.
material. It should be distributed only with the ones who have the right to access it. So you can use it for just for knowledge, but
Yes. I think that.
for
Yeah.
citation, I doubt that. Yeah.
No. This is also my opinion. We can use it only for reading, but we cannot use it as for research or something like that because it violates the copyright law, and it is considered illegal in many I think in many countries or in many regions. So just use it for reading or something like that.
So can I publish a thesis that was done years ago? Yes, you can.
Yes.
There is some websites or some publishers that can accept thesis, so they can publish it for you. And even if your university has a website, some universities provide a service for their students to publish their thesis, either MSc or BSc or even PhD thesis.
Mm-hmm.
The entire thesis, not just a paper. The entire
Yes.
thesis can be published.
Yes.
Muhammad Omar, Dr. Muhammad Omar, I want to ask if it's possible to publish paper that was being presented as a conference paper before. Yes, you can.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
if
Yeah.
you present a paper as a conference, that doesn't mean it has been peer reviewed or been published in a journal, unless it is published in a conference preceding,
Yes.
in a journal.
Yes, but also, Dr. Khair, we have to check the journal policy
Yes.
regarding period conference presentations. It's the most important thing because some journals
Definitely.
they have a policy
Yeah.
regarding conference presentation, so we have to read the policy before we submit this manuscript to this paper, and also we can clearly mention in the submission that part of the work were presented at a conference, and also ensure if the journal manuscript is expanded and more details on a conference abstract. So we have to read firstly and most importantly policy regarding of journal regarding the conference presentation.
you, Dr. Ali. I think this is the last question from Nusayba Abdasid. She said, how to determine the first or second or third author, the order of the authors, how to determine them? I think this by agreement between the authors.
Yes, exactly.
Normally, the first author is one
Who made the
who has
largest?
the original.
Yeah.
The
Maybe making the largest contribution to research
and
project.
then the second, the third author.
Yes, yes. And depend on the agreement between the
and the
between the authors.
The authors, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the journal has no rule for the order by which the article is submitted. They will publish it as they receive it.
Mm-hmm.
So the authors are the one who are responsible to determine which one is the first, which one is the second, and which one is the last author. And normally the last author is the boss, as we said, is the corresponding author. Yeah, for example, the head department,
maybe
the
the
lab,
head
yeah,
department.
yeah. This is the last one. So if I read the paper and I saw Dr. Ali as the last one in the author list, then I definitely know this work has been done in his lab. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the last one is the boss of the place in which the work has been done. Okay, so I think there is no other question in the chat box.
Almost we have 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a long presentation. We have everyone got knowledge, gain a knowledge. And we will meet at